the investors and analysts. However, given the recent chain of events, the board and the management felt it's appropriate to use this opportunity for the board chair to also engage directly with you. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. As you know, we have seen multiple material developments since March. At the outset, we acknowledge that these developments are unfortunate for any organization, and it's painful to see these taking place, particularly in your own. However, the board is determined to address all identified issues so that we can move and resolve to move appropriately forward. I want to first spend a few minutes on the approach taken by the board to address the issues at hand. The irregularities disclosed indicate an inadequate emphasis on accounting analysis and rigor, as well as lapses in and violations of governance norms, internal controls, disclosure, and reporting mechanisms to the board. The board was not informed of the discrepancies, including at the time of approval of the financial results for the relevant accounting periods. Upon being made aware of the irregularities since March 2025, the board has swiftly taken active steps in understanding and addressing all areas of concern holistically and disclosing progress transparently at all appropriate stages. The board and the management set forth its desire of maintaining trust in the institution by aspiring for and implementing higher standards of transparency and compliance. The board is closely working with management and all relevant stakeholders so that the bank can be forthcoming in highlighting any irregularities which need to be addressed. The board, along with the management, has spent considerable time and effort in assessing in a timely manner all the irregularities brought to our attention. Wherever required, we sought assistance of reputed external professional firms in addition to detailed internal review. The bank is announcing this year's financial results slightly later than what it has done so in the past. Given the events which have transpired, the statutory auditors have done substantive checks with wider sample sizes to analyze any anomalies in financial reporting so that all the identified issues can be adequately and fairly accounted while finalizing Q4 results for financial year 24-25. The board and its committees are working with the management and external advisors to identify and address the root causes, rectifying any lapses in systems or processes, and imbibing learnings to tighten internal controls. These shall be reviewed and implemented under the board's oversight. We strongly believe these extra steps should help in avoiding such incidents happening in the future. While we address these immediate issues, we are also cognizant of the need to reinforce the governance culture and long-term sustainability of the organization. We are institutionalizing ethical best practices, robust systems and processes while rebuilding the talent desirous of delivery on such a framework. The board is also in the process of taking necessary steps to assess roles and responsibilities and fixing staff accountability as per the extant laws and internal code of conduct. We are approaching these aspects with utmost seriousness without fear or favor to anyone involved in precipitation of these issues. The board is also continuously engaged with the regulators. The board would like to express its gratitude to the regulators and particularly the RBI for its support and guidance in helping navigate these challenging times. Whilst we have shared updates through stock exchange intimations and also as part of the financial statements for Q4 24-25, financial year 24-25, which have been disclosed, I will summarize the recent events and financial performance as follows. Number one, the derivative accounting issue. The bank has received final reports from both external firms, and the financial impact is broadly similar to the earlier initial internal assessment. The bank has already discontinued internal accounting trade since 1st April 2024 and is in the process of taking further measures to improve internal controls and processes to prevent such lapses occurring again. The board has also taken a very serious view with respect of staff accountability across levels to reinforce the governance and compliance culture and is in the process of taking actions for staff accountability. Number two, additional rigorous review. In addition, in light of the derivative accounting issue, the board has also worked with the management and the statutory auditors to undertake an enhanced and much more rigorous review as part of finalizing the financials, including thorough reviews by the internal audit department of the bank. As part of this exercise, the bank has identified the following significant matters which have been appropriately accounted for in the financials for Q4 24, financial year 24-25. Number one, microfinance portfolio. The reviews identified that over the first 3 quarters of financial year 24-25, there was incorrect recording interest income and fee income. The review has also identified the misclassification of certain microfinance loans which have resulted in under-provisioning and non-recognition of NPAs aggregating rupees 1,885 crores. The bank has addressed the underlying cause and is in the process of taking actions for staff accountability. Other matters. As part of the review, it was also noted that there was certain unsubstantiated balance in other assets and other liabilities accounts of the bank, and that an amount approximately of rupees 760 crore has been incorrectly classified as interest income instead of other income. Based on review of all these matters and reports received by the board suspects the occurrence of fraud against the bank and the involvement therein of certain employees, having a significant role in the accounting and financial reporting of the bank. Accordingly, the bank has directed necessary steps to be taken under applicable law, including reporting to regulatory authorities and investigative agencies, and to also fix accountability of all persons responsible for these lapses. The financial impact absorbed in Q4 financials in FY 24-25. The financial impact of all the above has been fully taken in the audited financial statements of the bank for the financial year 2024-25. The bank's approach towards financials has been to start FY 25-26 on a clean slate without carrying forward any of the past issues. The bank has thoroughly reviewed all the lines of accounting and has taken a conservative view in some of the accounting treatments. This has reflected in a few one-offs versus the business as usual run rate, which we shall delve deeper in subsequent sections. The bank's balance sheet remains healthy after absorbing all these changes with a capital adequacy ratio of 16.24%, I repeat, capital adequacy ratio of 16.24%, a provision coverage ratio of 70%, and an average liquidity coverage ratio of 118%, with an excess liquidity of rupees 39,600 crores. The liquidity remains comfortable in current quarter as well, with an average LCR of 139% in the first half of this quarter. I would now refer to the leadership transition. Following the findings of external review announced on 27th of April 2025, the bank's CEO and Deputy CEO had resigned from their respective roles thereafter. The RBI has advised the bank to submit proposals for appointment of the new CEO for RBI's approval by 30th June 2025. The board is at an advanced stage in the selection process and is confident that the recommendations will be submitted to the RBI in advance of the timeline prescribed. This will provide strong leadership and management stability at the bank. The board is determined to identify and expeditiously induct strong leadership with right competencies, strong ethics, and the ability to build and scale a robust franchise. In the interim, and as approved by the RBI, the Committee of Executives, which is Anil Rao and Sumitra Sen, is entrusted to oversee the operations of the bank. The Committee of Executives is guided by an oversight committee of the board comprising of the chairpersons of the board, the Risk Management Committee, the Compensation and Nomination Committee, and the Audit Committee of the board. The Board of Directors and the management team is committed to ensure a smooth transition. I would now like to reinforce the ethos of governance while executing the growth strategy from here on. The board is working with the management to bring in a cultural shift towards achieving high standards of ethics and governance. We want to build an environment of open and honest communication with all the stakeholders, prioritizing long-term sustainability over short-term achievements. Compliance with extant regulations in form as well as spirit is non-negotiable. A one bank vision, breaking the silos by laying a strong foundation would ensure avoiding repetition of such episodes, providing uninterrupted execution on the bank's strategic growth objectives.